Good evening. Welcome. Welcome to yoga. Welcome to your mat. If you're just tuning in, know that this class is open for all levels, including beginner, mostly focusing on beginner, as we'll be building all poses from the foundation up. This class will be a little bit of strength building, so do what you can, but I encourage you to also push your boundaries a little bit, especially when it comes to strength, not letting our mind convince us that we're not capable. Of course, if you have an injury or your body is saying no for some other extenuating circumstance, please listen to your intuition, listen to your body. But otherwise, it's just the mind and your muscles are shaking. I encourage you to take a few more breaths. So just beginning to center in, allowing your eyes to close as you come to a comfortable cross-legged seat. Maybe you have your palms up or down on your knees, shoulders drop down away from the ears. Go ahead and draw your chest forward just slightly, opening up through the heart space. Your chin drops ever so slightly towards your chest, really allowing the crown of that head to grow up towards the sky. And as you really draw that crown up, your spine lengthens and straightens, and drawing your belly button up and in. Breathing here. As we begin to engage our body through the poses, you may find that even the simple poses can offer a space to build strength, and maybe are a little bit harder than they appear to the outside. Allowing your knees to relax and just drop down towards the floor. Letting gravity do the work here. We're going to go ahead and bring our hands right in front of us, still with a nice straight spine. Go ahead and begin to walk your hands forward in front of you, extending through the crown, staying up on those fingertips, intented hands. You can let that chest just drop towards the floor. So instead of just hunching in the spine, I want you to really let the heart lead your upper body towards the floor. Beginning to walk your hands over to the right. Those left fingertips crawl forward just a little bit more. Breathing into that side body, allowing both hips to remain planted on the mat. On your next inhale, go ahead and walk through center over to that left leg. And as we fold over the left, go ahead and walk those right fingertips forward just a little bit more. Right hip stays grounded on the mat. So if you have to let up a little bit, keep that grounded. Please do so. Breathing into that side body. And walking back through center, beginning to press up. Go ahead and take the legs nice and wide. And once you get them as wide as they will go, go ahead and scoop just a little bit of flush out from under your sit bones. That'll help you tilt your pelvic bone, your pelvic floor forward a little bit, giving you a little straighter spine. Just taking a couple breaths here, flexing those feet. You're going to press those thighs down towards the mat. Bringing your hands in front of you, beginning to walk forward into a fold. And go ahead and really come to that edge of the stretch, still pulling those toes back towards your body, still pressing those legs down towards the mat, folding that chest towards the floor. Maybe your elbows come to the mat, maybe they don't. Just breathing here. We're really going to take a second here. And as you begin to find some opening in the stretch, I want you to keep pushing forward into that edge, finding more opening, more release. On your next inhale, beginning to press back up. Go ahead and grab behind the thighs, drawing them in. I'm going to do just a couple hip openers here. So go ahead and bring that left shin parallel to the front of your body. And you might start to move it towards having that knee come directly out from the hip. If you need it out a little wider as you begin to open into the hips, go ahead and keep it out a little wider if you're finding it difficult to get into this pose. Then you're going to bring the right ankle over that knee. You might do a little scoop of the flesh. If you do have a pillow or a block, sometimes it's nice if there's a big gap here to be able to put something there for support. Or if you're comfortable, here's what maybe a little wider stance would look like. If you're comfortable, go ahead and be there with the hip opening. Eventually, for most yogis, as you continue to practice, your shins will be able to sit on top of one another. Or if you've done a sport with high flexibility, you may already be there. And if you need more stretch, if your shins are stacked perfectly, one on top of the other, and there's no space, go ahead and begin to walk your hands out forward in front of you into a fold. And just keep walking till you feel a nice stretch at the back of that right hip. ahead and release that right leg from the top. And we're going to switch the left one on top now. Always flexing that top foot in any hip opener. That'll just help protect the knee joint. We really don't want the stretching to be in like the tendons and ligaments connecting into the knee joint. We really want it to be in the larger muscle systems, particularly the hip for this one. And again, if your shins already come together and rest on top of one another, then you might want to begin to fold forward. I'm just breathing here, finding your edge, moving into a space of continual opening. And gently releasing that, making your way onto your hands and knees. Go ahead and stack those knees under hips, wrists, under shoulders, and we're going to take a few cat-cows. Inhale, tailbone and crown, reach up, belly drops down. Exhale, arching the spine back into cat. Inhale forward, exhale back. And after you've completed a few rounds at the pace of your own breath, go ahead and meet me back at neutral spine. And you might walk the hands a little bit forward for this one. Everybody is just slightly different, but a pretty good general hand position for this pose. For our down dog will be with your pointer fingers pointing straight forward. All fingers spread wide, pressing the tips of the fingers into the mat, all four corners of the palm into the mat, tucking those toes under, press the hips up and back, down dog. If you look back and you can see your heels, I want you to twist your feet ever so slightly so your heels are just out of view. Rolling your armpits in towards your ears, maybe taking a deeper bend in the knees for a moment to really press those hips up and back. And then begin to straighten, working the heels towards the mat. Still really rolling those armpits in towards the ears, spreading across the shoulder blades. Bringing that left foot towards center. Right foot lifts up. And then press that left heel down, continuing to lift that right heel up, but working towards keeping the hips squared off to the front of the mat. And then beginning to open the hips, open that heel out towards your back. Three-legged dog, inhale back straight, exhale release. Inhale left foot up, at first starting with the hips squared off to the mat. And then beginning to roll those hips open, bending at the knee, stretching through the side body. Inhale to center, exhale, release. Placing your knees on the mat, press back just for a moment in child's pose. Giving the shoulders just a little break. Before we come back onto the hands and knees, we're going to make our way into dolphin. So go ahead and place those elbows on the mat, clasping your hands. Elbows are about shoulders distance apart. Then it's just like down dog, tucking those toes under, pressing the hips up and back, pressing that chest back, really pressing through those elbows. And then coming up onto the tiptoes, drawing that forehead towards your hands, and then exhale, pressing back. Inhale forward. Exhale, press back, heels to the mat. Inhale, up on the toes, head comes forward. Exhale, press back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. I know you're probably shaking. If you've got a couple more, go ahead and do them with me. If not, dropping your knees to the mat. One more time, inhale forward. Exhale back. Dropping the knees, press back, child's pose. Inhale, coming forward, taking this opportunity to push past our normal boundaries. When we push past our boundaries, when we push past what's comfortable, that is where we grow. So inviting you into a space of growth tonight. Inhale that left foot up. Exhale, crunching, knee to nose. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to opposite elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, same knee, same elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Inhale, switch foot. Exhale, knee to nose. Nice strong hands. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to opposite elbow. Just one more time. Inhale up. Exhale, same knee, same elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Big toes together, knees wide. Press back, child's pose. And just recentering here with the breath. Just allowing that belly to rest down between the thighs. The chest presses towards the mat, forehead on the mat. Just reconnecting with the breath here. We've got just one more beautiful down dog option. So give those shoulders a break for a second, and I know they're probably on fire already, but just inviting you to take this opportunity to push your boundaries. And if you can't, that's okay. Just, enjoy child's pose, enjoy the breath. Yoga is really all about the breath, and if you're there connecting, that's perfect as well. If you're ready to take our last intense down dog, there may be one or two quick pass-bys throughout the rest of class, but go ahead and come onto your hands and knees, tuck your toes under, press up and back. Then we're going to bring that left hand a little bit more towards the center, and the right hand is going to come across to the left shin. Looking out under that left armpit. And finding the breath here. Releasing that right hand to the mat, a little bit towards the center of the mat. Left hand comes up and grabs across right shin, looking out under the right armpit. Pressing back, pressing those heels to the mat. Armpit rolls in towards the ear, breathing. And go ahead and release that left hand. Replacing the hands about shoulder distance apart, bending at the knees, and walking or floating your feet to your hands, forward fold. Go ahead and release in the head and neck. Shake it, yes. Shake it, no. Maybe make a few circles. Oh, and just completely release in the spine, pressing through the legs, moving towards straight legs, but still allowing those hands to come to the mat. So wherever you need to be for those hands to be on the mat, pressing into the heels, towards straight legs, drawing that belly down towards the thighs. Still releasing in the head and neck and breathing. Go ahead and tuck that tailbone under, beginning to roll up one vertebra at a time. As you make your way all the way to standing, head and neck come last. Go ahead and face the side of your mat, taking a nice wide stance with the feet. Having your toes point straight forward or toes slightly in, slightly pigeon-toed. Don't have them pointing out for this portion because we're going to forward fold and that will not be so great on your knees. So bringing your hands to your hips, drawing that belly button up and in, tightening through the core. We're going to begin to lead with the chest, coming into a forward fold. Maybe you allow your hands to come to the mat. Maybe you grab your shins, and that just gives you a little extra pull. Go ahead and take that right hand across to the left, grabbing onto the left shin. Go ahead and release, walking through center. Left hand over to the right. And go ahead and release to center. Now we're going to take a twist. So right hand comes right in front of your face, placing it on the mat. Left hand, left hip, beginning to open that whole side body or front body to the side from the rib cage. Then left arm from there can come up towards the sky. Maybe you gaze up if that's available to your neck. If not, you can gaze forward or down at that bottom hand. And releasing that left hand back to the mat, replacing the left with the right. Left hand right in front of your face, right hand comes to the hip. Beginning to open from that rib cage, opening that side body over to the right. Right arm comes up. Maybe you gaze up, forward, or down, whatever's available to you this evening. And release. And we're only going to be here just another moment. Go ahead and clasp your hands behind your back, drawing the fists away from your head, so down towards the tailbone. And as you press those fists away from you, go ahead and begin to lift them up away from the body, releasing in the head and neck. And bringing the fists back to your back, releasing the clasp, releasing your hands back to the mat. Heel, toe, your feet together. Tucking that tailbone and beginning to roll up all the way to standing. Go ahead and meet back at the top of your mat. We're going to vinyasa down to the mat. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, place hands, and if you can, hop or step back. Inhale at the top of the plank, and exhale, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. And just taking an inhale and exhale here. Inhale that right leg up. Exhale, step that right leg through. Go ahead and bring that left knee to the mat. Bringing that right foot out, the edge of that right foot out to the edge of the mat. So you can bring both hands on the inside of that right knee. And from here, you might begin to roll out on to the outside edge of that right foot so the knee is pressing away. And just opening here through the hip. Maybe you come down onto your elbows. If you came to your elbows, go ahead and come back up onto your hands, onto your fingertips. Scooching that right foot back in, so now your hands are framing that foot. With the foot framed and the hips pressing towards the mat, double check that that front knee is stacked over the ankle and not coming forward. Go ahead and put a hand on your hips and just double check if the hips aren't, that one hip isn't dropping down or rising up. And if you feel both hips even, we're going to go ahead and bring your hands to your hips, coming up into Anjaneyasana. From here, maybe you raise the hands up towards the sky. Maybe you open the arms, bending at the elbows. Pressing that chest up towards the sky, opening. On your next inhale, hands come up and down to the mat. Pressing the hips back, straightening into that front right leg. Coming up onto the heel into Hanuman. So really flexing that front foot, drawing that pinky toe back towards your nose. Just breathing into the back of the leg here. We're going to take a moment. We're going to definitely take a good few breaths here. And then there'll be an option to add on to move towards splits. And there's no need to feel like you need to get there quickly. And definitely not tonight, unless you already have a splits practice. So beginning to slide that front heel forward, just as far as you can. Maybe you come onto the fists. Just taking a moment to connect with the breath here. Still flexing that front foot. And beginning to draw that heel back onto the mat. Coming back into Anjaneyasana. Placing the hands on the mat, tucking those back toes under. Pressing up to release that front foot. Down dog. I'm just taking one nice big breath here and down dog. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale, left foot up. Exhale, step through. Low lunge. Dropping that back knee to the mat. Go ahead and bring that left foot out to the left edge of the mat. Left hand comes on the inside, and then you might begin to open that knee to the side. Pressing the chest towards the mat, finding an opening in the hips. Maybe you come down onto your elbows. Maybe you don't. If you came down onto your elbows, go ahead and come back up onto the hands. Beginning to shimmy that foot back towards center. Bringing the hands to the hips, double checking that the hips are squared off. Maybe you peek back at that back leg, see that it's tracking right behind you. And inhale up. Go ahead and draw those hands up towards the sky. Maybe you take a gaze up. Opening those elbows, opening that chest, that heart. Breathing here. Inhale those arms back up. Exhale, releasing them to the mat. Go ahead and shift those hips back towards Hanuman. You might scooch that foot forward a little bit more, just so long as your hips are stacked right over that knee. Go ahead and make sure that front foot is nice and flexed. Just breathing into the back of the leg here. Really drawing that pinky toe back towards your nose. Double checking in your face, your jaw. If you're holding any tension there, go ahead and release that. Maybe even smile. I know, crazy, right? Just enjoying the edge know it's not the most comfortable place to be, but again, this is our place of growth, and I am right there with you. Beginning to slide that heel forward towards splits just as far as you can go comfortably. Maybe you come onto fists. By this point, I like coming onto fists. It just is a different option for my wrists. Really pressing into the hands or fist or fingertips or blocks if you have them. Go ahead and begin to slide that heel back onto the mat. And when you come back into Anjaneyasana, go ahead and place those hands on the mat, tucking your back toes under, pressing your hips up to release that front leg, down dog. Take a moment to adjust your down dog here, really spreading those fingers, rolling those armpits in, double checking that your heels are just out of view. Inhale, exhale, knees to mat, making your way onto your back. And as we meet on our back, go ahead and walk those heels in towards your body. Feet are about hips distance apart. Hands come to the side, palms down. Gazing straight up in front of you or eyes closed, but once we begin coming into bridge, we want to keep our head pointing forward. Beginning to press into the feet, rolling the spine up one vertebra at a time. And when you come as far as you can here, go ahead and roll your shoulders under till you can clasp your hands behind your back. Then maybe you can press up a little bit further. Really breathing into that front body, squeezing those thighs towards one another, squeezing the glutes, pressing and breathing and squeezing. And then releasing those shoulders and beginning to roll down one vertebra at a time. Go ahead and draw those knees in towards the chest, giving them a hug. Maybe you rock a little bit from side to side. Allowing those feet to come back to the mat. Making a little pillow with the hands and bringing them behind the head just to support the head and neck. Bringing those feet up off the mat, shins at a 90-degree angle. Go ahead and drop both knees towards the right. Inhale up to center and both knees over to the left. If you want, you can also make a T with your hands. This might help support a little bit more as you're building up core strength. I was actually going to start with a different exercise, so go ahead and make that T. Inhale up through center. Exhale, drop to the side. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. And we're not coming all the way to the mat. You're keeping them just a few inches off. Taking your time. Inhale through center. Exhale, drop. Just a couple more times each side. Keeping those knees a little bit away from the body. Beautiful work.
Stay with me if you can. Inhale, center. Exhale, drop. Inhale, center. Exhale, drop. And just one more time. Inhale, center. Exhale, drop. Inhale, center. Release your feet to the mat. Now go ahead and make that pillow. And one more time. Knees come off the ground. Shins at a 90-degree angle. Go ahead and lift that head and shoulder up off the mat. We're going to straighten the left leg and the right arm. Sorry, the left arm, left leg straightens, left arm comes across the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, right leg straightens, right arm across. Center, across, and center, across. Just a few more times each side. Exhale up. Inhale back. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, center. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, center. And exhale, crunch. Inhale, center. Exhale, releasing the head and shoulders to the mat, feet to the mat. Now with everything back on the mat, let's go ahead and take the feet wide. The outside edges of the feet hit the outside edges of the mat. So we're just going to drop both knees over to the left. Inhale through center over to the right. On an exhale, inhale center. Exhale, drop. And this is just a gentle spinal twist. Inhale, center. And exhale, drop. Go ahead and inhale them back through center, drawing the legs out long, allowing them to come apart, and the feet just relax. Toes pointed gently out, making our way down to Shavasana. Arms come along our sides. Maybe you lift up a little bit and tuck those shoulder blades under. And that'll just kind of open the chest and help our arms open a little bit more comfortably to the sides, adjusting the head so that it feels like the crown, neck, and spine are all in alignment. Beginning to relax in the belly, relaxing in the back. Your head feels completely supported by the earth beneath you. Your eyes are closed. And you begin to release your control over the breath, allowing it to return to its natural rhythm. And as your breathing returns to its natural rhythm, you feel your shoulders begin to relax. Your chest and heart relax. You relax in the throat and jaw. Your teeth are slightly parted, and your tongue rests gently in the mouth. Your eyes begin to relax. Any tension in the eyebrows or forehead begin to release. Your ears relax.
your mind relaxes. And as you move deeper into relaxation, you just begin to notice your thoughts. As you notice your thoughts streaming through your mind's eye, you don't attach to any of them. You just allow them to arise and then fade. And then the next thought arises and fades. On and on. These thoughts come. But you are not your thoughts. Bringing your attention back to your breath. Taking a deep inhale through the nose and sighing it out through your mouth. And beginning to bring your awareness back into your body. Option 2, take a nice deep stretch, arms overhead, all the way through to your toes. And bringing those soles of the feet to your mat. With bent knees, go ahead and begin to roll onto your side in fetal position. Just taking a breath or two in fetal. And beginning to push up to seated. Coming back to the place where class began. Go ahead and bring your hands to heart center, feeling where each fingertip touches the other, feeling all four corners of the palms press into one another. Go ahead and take the base of your thumbs and gently press them into your sternum, opening across the chest, across the shoulders, dropping those shoulders down away from your ears. Just a gentle tightening in the belly, a straightening of the spine. Allowing your eyes to close for one more moment, turning that attention inward and just giving yourself gratitude for showing up, for breathing, for practicing. Gratitude for every moment that you chose to grow, that you chose to be there and be uncomfortable and move through it. Namaste.